talking with Zayne's dad, Robert Ward, this afternoon, and we're, talking about some of the experiences that he had as a parent in terms of watching Zayne's success and the recruiting process and things of that nature. So Robert and I are going to talk a bit about that this afternoon. Nice to have you with us. Thanks, Robert, for joining us.
Thanks, Richard. Thanks for having me.
All right. So let's take us back to Zayne's early days as a player. There's a lot of choices out there for sports. So how did he end up gravitating or moving towards soccer as his game of choice?
Well, he had 4 older siblings, and we tried everything with all of them. He did t-ball 1 year, and they played basketball. His older brothers played, all the sports, and we started him up in soccer because his 2 older brothers were playing soccer, and he loved it. I mean, they all loved it. All 3 of them did. They went all through the Baton Rouge system, and 1 year we were doing we did baseball, but they didn't like baseball. They said it was too slow. They liked basketball, and they liked soccer, and because they liked the action, they were constantly moving around. But I think they liked the free flow of soccer, and that's because you just kind of just play. That's what they liked about it, and it was right out there. You just needed a ball, so after a year, they quit playing basketball and just played organized soccer. So, and then they played outside constantly. We they didn't watch much TV. We didn't let them watch TV during the week. We made them go outside and play, and they played anything with a ball, but soccer, they just loved it, So had little nets in the yard and everything for them. So.
Very nice. Now, the older brothers definitely had an influence on. We were talking about that during his part of the interview.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Were they typical, brothers in their interactions? Or,
yes, they were. It was kind of weird because I would go out there and play with them also, and my wife would too, and we would feed them the ball and make them use different feet. My wife was really good at making them use their right foot and their left foot. Sethon was naturally left-footed, and so was Devin. And Sethon could hit with both feet, but Zayne just took it with both feet right away. I mean, he's a right foot, right-sided person, but he can hit it hard with his left foot too. And even when he was 4 years old, he was doing that because she would make him use both feet, right? And when they were playing in the yard, they would play against each other, and Sethon would naturally become forward, Devin would go defender, and Zayne would go in the midfield. And they just naturally did that, and that's where they ended up playing when they got older. It was kind of strange, but they were very aggressive. I mean, they would chop each other's legs down, and they would do all. I had to calm them down a few times, So, but and that instilled in Zayne his competitiveness with older kids. He always wanted to go against older kids. He always played harder against older kids because he had Devin and Sethon just going against him all the time. And they were 2 years older. Devin's 2 years older than he is, and very athletic, just as athletic as Zayne. And so was Sethon, and they were just very rough on him. It was very, healthy, but it was very intense sometimes,
That's outstanding.
Yeah.
I don't know a coach in the world that wouldn't want a spine of that team, with your 3 sons, Well,
yeah, appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. As a parent, experiencing your child's career, how did you approach his development as he advanced in various stages of his career?
Well, when we came over from Gonzales, it just so happened that we were taking a camp in Baton Rouge, and they liked Devin for a goalkeeper. He was playing goalkeeper at the time, and we were looking to make it a move to Baton Rouge. I think Devin and Sethon were 11, and Zayne was 9, and so we decided to make the move. And we knew they were athletic and they had abilities and stuff. So we went with Marvin. They tried out. They tried out for the black process. The black, red, and the maroon at the time. And Marvin's like, look, I have this really good core team. They're U10s. Michael was on that team, and a few other ones. And we really want to put Zayne in there. We think we can go a long way with this team. Gary Beach, youngest son, was on that team. You know him. He just signed with NC State. And So they put that core team together at 10, and he's been there developing under Marvin mainly. And Marvin has been just instrumental in his career. I mean, just the way he trains kids, the way he lets them express themselves on the field and stuff. He's been a fantastic coach and mentor for Zayne in soccer.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Um, in club and high school, Zane has enjoyed a lot of success, and obviously some moments where things didn't go as well as we'd like. As parents, how did you guide Zane through these experiences, and how do you feel it impacted his approach?
When he was younger, he really took defeat bad. He really took it hard. He was upset, and we just tried to tell him, you look, you're going to have, good days and bad days. You're going to lose some games, but you're going to win a lot too. And as he got older and just more mature, he just realized that, just leave it out on the field and don't get upset when you get home, because he would be very upset when he got home when he lost. He took it hard. He took it hard, and that team is very good. That team that Marvin had, and I think Adrian coached him for a while, and some other people. But that team was very good. But they had some disappointments in games, and they just learned to live with it. He just matured. That's the best way I can put it. We try to guide him and say, hey, it's not the end of the world. Move on. Just keep training and working hard. And it's what he did.
I understand it.
Yeah.
There are a lot of memories out there,
Oh
right?
yeah.
All the kids. What are some of your best memories of Zane's soccer career, and moving forward, as well? What are you looking forward to, now that he started the next stage of his career?
Well, I guess some of the best memories. Well, one of the ones that stick out in my mind is when we were playing for Gonzales. He was on the team with his two older brothers, and he only played the second half of the year because he was on the team with no goalies before that. And I told the guy there, I said, look, he can't play on this team anymore. He was scoring 10, 15 goals every, it was you 4 against 4 with no goalie. He would just take it and score just because he was just so aggressive. And so I asked them if he could come play with us. I said, well, okay, he's kind of young, he was only like 4 or 5. And they said, he's going against 7-year-olds. And I said, just give him a shot. He'll be fine. And he started practicing with them, and he didn't start. And then he started putting him at defender, and they'd put him in for like 10 or 15 minutes. Well, by the end of the season, by the last game, I mean, he was playing, more than half the game. And I'll never forget, it was, and at every game, there was always a situation where Zayne almost scored a goal. And it was just, he just missed, or the guy stopped him at the last minute and all. Coming from like a defensive position, right? It was a set piece or something. And there was a play where it was right by the end of the game, and it was a 50-50 ball, and they had this kid. He was like twice Zayne's size, and they went head to head for the ball. I mean, they just ran into each other, and they both fell over. Zayne got up and ran with the ball. I mean, he just took off, and the kid was just kind of getting up and kind of dizzy and stuff, and was just kind of not moving. And Zayne was already halfway down the field with the ball, trying to score a goal. And that's one of my fondest memories. And he did actually score that game. That was the only time he scored all year. It was right by the end of the game, and he finally got to score. And it was a big deal because he'd been trying the whole season to score. So, and I guess the other memory, there was a lot of club stuff that was really good. But I'm telling you, high school, he had a great team. His all through his career at Dutchtown, he had a really good team, really good mix of athletes and club players that were athletic, and his brothers were on the team. But those matches against St. Paul and Jesuit, that he just showed up, especially that semifinal game where he scored a hat trick. I mean, they were down 2-0, and I don't think he scored a hat trick, but he forced that own goal in that game at the end of the first half in the semifinal, and then he scored those 2 goals to tie the game up. And it was just an epic game, and he really showed up for that game. That's probably 2 of my fondest memories of Zayne playing.
It just shows what kind of player you developed into as well.
Yeah.
Take over a game at that particular point.
Yeah, that header that he scored, I don't know if you've seen the video, but that header he scored, they threw it in, and he just, with the back of his head, he out jumped everybody. It was just incredible. So it was
tremendous.
It was great. Mhm.
Let's
Mhm.
shift gears, and kind of look at the recruiting process and your experiences with that. Um, take us through some of the positive and negative things that happen in the recruiting process.
Um,
And
yeah, I think. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Richard.
go ahead. And one, then I'll
No,
after you.
I'd have to say I think we pretty much my boys all caught uh, Baton Rouge. Not to be negative, but I think we caught Baton Rouge in a bit of a transition period with Gary leaving, and then they had some new leadership and stuff, and then Willie left, and he was doing recruiting stuff, and I think so. I don't think it really worked out for us. I had to do a lot of my own. I know Marvin helped us on the side, and Gary Butte helped us, and Marvin did too. But with the club, I don't think we really worked it through the club too much. I did a lot myself, right? Just reaching out to coaches and stuff. And ODP really helped. He didn't get an ODP until he was like a freshman or a sophomore. I wouldn't let him do it early. And then when he got in that, when he made the group team or what is that, the regional team,
Yeah.
that's really where it picked it up. And that's where he met Furman's coach, and he went overseas. One great thing that Baton Rouge did for Zayne was he was able to go to that Ajax event in the Netherlands,
Mhm.
and they sponsored, they got us, and that was a fantastic. It was I thank Baton Rouge for that, because that really opened Zane's eyes up to the level of other players. I mean, the first day it was a little, he was a little slow on the ball, and trying to catch up. By the end of the day and the end of the week, he was playing the whole game, and he was up to the speed. The speed of the game was it was so much faster, and it took him a day to realize, and it opened his eyes about how Ajax trains and stuff like that,
Mhm.
and it was great. And then with the ODP, he was able to go to Italy, and he trained in Italy under Chievo Verona. They went for a week, and that was also very good. I mean, the Italians are just the way they structure their games. I mean, they had a big guy in the back, they had a creative midfielder, and they had a really fast winger in every game, and he learned a lot. Just the speed and the way these kids knew how to defend and stuff. So that the international stuff really helped, and I got to give credit to Baton Rouge for getting them into that. But he was getting reached. A lot of people were calling him or emailing him through me, and I'd give him the information because I wanted him to do it. I wanted to make sure that he really wanted to do it. And there was a couple of colleges that were looking at him. We went to NC State. We went and did some stuff over there. We did UAB, and it was Furman, and he went to UAB and Furman, and he loved UAB too. Believe me, he really did like UAB. That's got a great program over there. And then, but just that Furman, man, when he went out there and saw that, they got the mountain, the Paris Mountain. When you're sitting there and you're sitting in their office, and just the locker room, and just the way they play. He told me the other day, he just loves the way they play, and the way they approach the game. So. Um, but as far as the recruiting, that was really it. I mean, just we went to some camps. We did go to camps. I took them to camps and stuff, and then just working with Furman and UAB. Those are really the only two, and NC State were the only three you really went to.
Mhm.
So.
So now, obviously, your role has evolved over the years, but what advice or message would you give to parents who have a young player or a player that's being talked to? What advice or message would you give to them about how they can approach or handle a lot of this process that you've had experiences with that?
Yes, sir. I would say, first of all, make sure the girl or the boy want to do it. That's the key. If they don't want to do it, then don't even bother. Try to push them, but you got to guide them, right? Because it's a very difficult decision. And they were like, "Oh yeah, I want to play college soccer," but then they're like, "It's a lot of work. There's a lot of time and effort and stuff." So, but you have to make sure they really want to do it. And Zayne clearly told me that he wanted to do it. The other thing is just you got to get yourself out there. Being from Louisiana, you're not going to get as many. You're not going to get as many looks. So you kind of got to go. You got to be in the right club. Baton Rouge is definitely the right club. I mean, in the state, I think it's the best club in the state because, you know, something they've always done is they've always gone to tournaments, and we went to Memphis, we went to the Carolinas, we went to Texas all the time, we went to Oklahoma, we went everywhere, and they were very competitive. And these teams are like, yeah, we playing Baton Rouge today, and they would kind of laugh. And then when they would play that team, they would go, holy cow, that team is really good. And they know how to play. They play passing and just beautiful football, I guess, is how Baton Rouge plays. So, but you have to make sure that the kid wants to do it. And then you have to, as a parent, you have to help guide them, but you also have to market. You have to go out and do it. You have to push yourself. Baton Rouge or any club can do only so much. It's really up to the parents to get out there and do it. And my oldest son didn't really want to do it. He at a point he did, but then he said, nah, I don't really want to do it. I don't want to play. And so he didn't. So I didn't really push him. I pushed him. I wanted him to do it, but he didn't want to. So. Where the other two really did. So
excellent. Robert, I'm really grateful that you took the time to be with us today, and we had this conversation. And I'm really looking forward to seeing about and hearing about Zayne's successes, as I know you are, and you're going to be going through a whole nother set of experiences as a coach parent, which involves a lot more travel.
It does, yeah.
Hopefully they stream some games as well, so you can get some.
Please do, yeah.
And
and I just want to tell you. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Richard.
I'm just really grateful you took the time to be with us today.
Thank you, and I want to say I really want to thank Baton Rouge. They've been a great club for all three of my sons, and just been a great club. Marvin Smith, Gary Butte, Adrian Garcia. All these guys have just been great influences to my son. Through the program, right? And great coaches and mentors, and it's a great club. It really is. They play good soccer. They really do, and I wish Baton Rouge the best moving forward. So
terrific. Thank you so much.